What can I do when I'm stuck inside you? This cell of ice and fire, what blood red death, lust and desire, smell of life.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Live and direct, Whole Damn Enchilada Podcast. Rick Paulton, Ryan Inman, Mike Connors. Over there somewhere. I got the first three right. Brian Emenheiser, South Jersey Jason, the handsome diner guy himself, big time Brian.
Yeah, you got to save the big star.
Big time Brian. What's up,
SJJ.
My Ric Flair introductions I have for you. I didn't want to try to freestyle it.
Like I said, we're going to have big time Brian Emenheiser and medium time Mike Connors.
Medium time Mike Connors. Right?
Medium time? Damn.
I don't know. Like the M&M thing, I guess. Right on.
Hey, it is what it is, man.
How you guys
I
doing
wrote
tonight,
this
man?
thing for Brian when
I'm
I
doing pretty good. Thank you, women. How you doing?
I'm just happy to not to be at fucking work right now because it is
I hear that.
this season, so my job gets hectic.
Right on. Like 10 minutes ago, I told one of my good-for-nothing kids to bring me a Pepsi. Nothing happened.
Just one Pepsi. That's all you asked for.
That's all I asked for. They're just they suck.
I'm back to these now because there's football tonight.
Right on.
Hopefully it's a good game and not a blowout.
See, we got a big show tonight, so I'll just get right to it. I'm taking the Baltimore football Ravens to beat the Kansas City football Chiefs tonight.
With the spread or without the spread, or just head up?
Money line, baby.
Money line. Okay. I don't know, man. I as a Browns fan, I hope you're wrong. Because it'd be nice for them to start 0-1. Because we're gonna need everyone we can get.
That's if Deshaun Watson turns around and decides to perform.
Yeah, well, that's the only way we're going to be any good, and I don't really see that's going to happen. But like Ryan said, he wants to get this show moving so he can get people out of here.
24-20 Baltimore.
Right on.
24-20 Baltimore?
That's what he says. He was right 90% of the time last year.
I'll take 20 to 19 Kansas City.
Right on.
I like the score, but not the outcome.
Yeah.
Last year I started off with a bang Thursday, and I took Detroit straight up to beat KC, and people thought I was fucking crazy. And guess what happened?
Yeah.
Detroit won?
Detroit won, yeah. And they ended up having a great season.
Or did they forfeit?
So anyway, tonight, finally, after a year and a half of doing this show, we've reviewed every one of the Friday the 13th movies. So tonight we are going to rank the Friday the 13th movies in order from 12 to 1. Ryan, you got a pen and paper so you can keep track of this? So what we're going to do is like the college football thing. So like we're going to, out of the four of us, we're going to come with a definitive ranking of the films. And for each one of us that votes like the 12th movie, they'll get like 1 point, on up to 13 or whatever.
Right.
And then we'll average it out and figure out the points. Bada bing, bada boom. We'll have a definitive ranking. Jared Agony in the comments. What's up? He says, look at this crew. Yeah. We got
Rick,
We're a bunch of mooks. Big deal.
Rick, you left out that $5 word.
Which $5 word?
What type of ranking will it be?
I don't remember. I said definitive.
An aggregate ranking.
Aggregate. Yes, I knew there was a bigger word. That's why he's the library. So we will start with our guests, and we'll go from the South Jersey Jason and go around counterclockwise, I guess. That's the easiest way.
All right. So we're starting from 12, right?
We're going to start from 12. You're going to give your 12 like the way we did. I don't know if you did one of these with this before. Did you?
I did like
we did the
maybe
final
a
girl.
Yeah, and we're going one at a time, correct?
And you'll give your 12, and then we'll kind of talk about whatever it is a little bit, and then we'll say where we had it on our list. Is that what we're going to do it the way we did before, Ryan? Or do you want to go 12, 12, 12, 11, 11, 11, 11?
You know what, though, man? I want to change this up. Well, go ahead, Mike.
So my question is like all of us are going to give 12, all of us are going to give 11, so forth.
That's what I was just asking Ryan. That's not the way we did it in the past, but it might be easier for this. Do you want to do it that way? Do you want to do it that way where we each give a 12, we each give 11, rather than like he gives his 12 and like we did with the other ones?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then the people in the comments, we got Karen in the comments, Bobby Heckman in the comments, Donald, JP Cross, happy birthday, JP.
Yeah, that's right. Happy birthday,
you
JP.
guys, as we're going, you guys
Happy
put yours
birthday!
out here, and we'll get a kind of a poll from the audience as well. So, on that note, Brian, your 12th ranked, as in your least favorite Friday the 13th movie of all time.
I'm going to go with my least favorite, which some people like, and I don't know why, Jason X.
I knew it. I knew that's where you were going to go.
Yeah.
And, Ryan and I love that movie. It's way higher ranked on our thing, but I don't think we want to talk about where it's ranked on our thing because the way we decided to do this. But I can give what we graded it. I graded it a C+, and Ryan graded it a C-.
And Bobby, that's his 10. So his is X9 and 8.
Right on. So he's got 8 last. And
yeah.
You have 10 is 12. Okay. Jason X would be JP's number 1. One of his tops. Okay.
And for anyone
Ellis in the house. What's
doesn't
up,
agree with what I say.
He's got, yeah, you got the Friday
real-
Part 1 night.
Steve,
Wow.
here's what I want to do, though, real quick.
Yeah.
Why do you have it last?
Because really the only reason they made it was to hold the rights so they could do Freddy versus Jason. I don't like Todd Farmer as a writer or an actor because he has to put himself in everything. When you put someone in space, you're really jumping the shark. The only part I liked was really the beginning, like when he's at the research facility.
Yeah.
I like the way he looked, and of course the iconic what is it, the nitrogen freeze face smash.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's really all I like about it. Other than that, it's garbage.
We had that ranked as one of our top kills for sure.
I think out of all the movies, it's like
1?
in the top 3 kills.
Right on. It's definitely really fucking sweet. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So, Mike, what would be your least favorite Friday the 13th movie?
I'm going to have to go with Jason X as well because really, space, really? Did we run out of fucking that many ideas? Not only that, the timeline made no really any sense.
It's Friday the 13th. Come on, man.
You know what, though? In all the earlier movies, there was a timeline that was somewhat explained, even though it didn't make sense. This one, okay, you found him in what, 2008? Then all of a sudden 2455. I mean, what led to the capture? Then we all know what led to this. There wasn't a lot of explanation that led to all of a sudden leading it to going into space, my opinion.
Well, Jason has been stopped a few times, so if him being captured,
but you know what, though? Jason's been stopped a bunch of times, but, I mean, this one, don't get me wrong, it's enjoyable to watch. I can watch it.
Honestly, I can watch all of them.
So can I.
A lot
so
less
can
than
I.
the rest of them.
I mean, you said you gave it a C+, Rick. Inman gave it, what, a C-? All right. I would give it just a C, but I think it's actually, in my opinion, as a Friday fan, the worst Friday the 13th movie ever.
Well, one's got to be the worst. There's got to be one that's the worst. Brian, if you graded it on a scale like A to F, what would you grade it?
Well, to save for my 2 favorite parts, I'd give it a D.
D? Okay,
yeah.
Cool. That's acceptable. See,
yeah.
The grades aren't necessarily the way that we like the movie better or not. We were grading it like basically as like we're trying to as much as we could grading it from the perspective of how good or bad it might have been made as a film. So for a long time, I didn't think that I liked Jason X as much as I did because I got it confused with the Leprechaun movie in space.
Leprechaun in Space is far better than Jason X.
No way, dude!
Come on, it's got Demon in it.
It was fun and it was a good movie, but it was definitely low budget, not well made.
No,
and I always thought that about Jason X because I was confusing a lot of the effects from the Leprechaun movie, like the doctor that's like half robot,
And sadly, it's Kane's last performance as Jason too.
Yeah, that's a sad fact as well.
Yeah.
All right, Rick.
So it's up to me. Okay. So
Yeah.
my 12th is easily Jason Takes Vancouver,
Yes.
aka Jason Takes Manhattan. It is there's a couple good kills in it. Not having any of Harry Manfredini's music really hurt it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I did like I always forget his name. Mark something Richmond. What's his name, Ryan?
Peter Mark Richmond.
Peter Mark Richmond. I know you one of them 3 name fellas. He's on my wall back there. Thanks to Ryan. Actually, he got me a Outer Limits card signed by him because he's passed and I can't get a Friday the 13th thing signed by him. But I really liked him. He's one of my favorite characters in the franchise.
The only person to ever appear in a Friday the 13th film, a Twilight Zone episode, and an Outer Limits episode.
Yeah, that's never going to change.
And speaking of
That's a good fact.
Speaking of the composing, I recently picked up Friday the 13th the series on DVD, all 3 seasons, and I'm watching it. I'm like, man, this music sounds familiar. And I looked at who composed it, and it's the same composer as Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah, that's why
every
I was hoping you were going to
episode.
say Harry. I was hoping you were going to say Harry. It might be more
No.
Right on.
little out of the price range.
The TV series actually isn't that bad, but it was lackluster because why call it Friday the 13th if it's spiritual, especially at the time that it came out. It was just like, okay, this is a hot mess.
Before we went on, and I don't want to get off on a tangent, but before we went on, we were talking about Halloween 3 and how it's so far away from the series, but still good. I've never really seen the series, Friday the 13th, the series, but I think that would be its version of Halloween 3.
Yeah, you're very true.
It would be.
How
In
it's
my
like
opinion, it would
nothing
be.
to do with it, but still a good thing,
All right. Well, this is no surprise to anyone who has ever watched this show for more than 5 seconds. And I will start off by saying, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Kevin Ellis is a very smart man. Jason Goes to Hell is absolutely the worst Friday the 13th film. I don't really think it's up for debate. We're not here to debate. We're just ranking. But, in my opinion, it fucking sucks. So watch our long-term review on that one for more.
Yeah, we've done all these. They're all in the archives. You can check them out. I
hate everything about it other than a couple of the kills.
Ryan, I know what you are going to say, and you are wrong. Speaking of Jason Goes to Hell, cheap plug for my buddy Adam Marcus. He will be in town in Ohio at Broadview Heights, Ohio Comic-Con on September 15th, next Sunday, and we will be going to see him in person and hang out with him. He is awesome. What's that?
Are you going, Ryan?
Ryan's going.
Maybe.
You should make him wear a Jason Goes to Hell shirt.
I got my
I don't own one.
Find it. She's back there somewhere. I just got a really cool Jason Goes to Hell hood and mask. So it's pretty sweet.
Oh, then turn around and dress Inman up on it.
Yeah, right. No, I'm gonna dress Ricky up in it.
Oh.
But the KNBFX rules in Jason Goes to Hell, you can't deny that.
Yeah, some of the kills.
Bob Kurtzman did a hell of a job with that.
The gore's sweet. I gave it that I did like some things about it.
Right on.
But the movie in and of itself, again, they tried something different. Yeah, and if Shaquille O'Neal started shooting 3-pointers, it's something different, but it's still fucking stupid. So,
so with that one, I gave it a C-. Ryan gave it a F-. And I as part 8, I gave it a D, and Ryan gave it a D-. It was my lowest. Actually, it's my second lowest graded movie. I have one that's actually graded lower than that.
Oh, so we're also doing gradings?
No.
I just have
okay.
Ryan and I from the past. You can throw it out there as you do it too if you want. But
Okay.
Just keep it going. So now we're back to Brian. Brian, your 11th ranked Friday the 13th movie.
That would be Freddy versus Jason.
And that is my lowest graded film.
Yeah.
Out of all of them. I gave that a D-, and Ryan did as well. And I think it does have some merit as a Nightmare on Elm Street film.
Yes.
Which is Ryan says it's like more of a Nightmare on Elm Street film.
Well, yeah, like I always say, it's a Nightmare on Elm Street featuring Jason Voorhees.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And it did have some good qualities. It had some decent kills in it. like it has some bad CGI, but a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street
CGI
movies
was
do.
bad, yeah. And the
Not
slowest, someone did. I don't know. It's this guy I follow. He's a cosplayer. He has like his own website dedicated to like Friday the 13th with blogs and stuff. And he actually put like how long it would take Jason to get from like New Jersey to Ohio at a slow pace, a medium pace, and a fast pace. Like the dude like did some research, and I'm like, but you look at the Jason you're doing the math for. He was the slowest Jason out of the whole franchise.
Exactly. But I mean, hell, even if he stole a car, it's 6.5 hours because I've done it.
Yeah.
I have literally driven from my house to Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
And I live in Ohio.
Yep.
And there's not one thing I can say I like about it. I mean, everything from the story to the director to the casting. Like Monica Keena is probably the best part of it visually.
Yeah, we hate the director, Ronnie Yu. He's a scumbag.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll get more into it as they come up on our list. Donald says, let's see what Donald says. He says, good nightmare film, but the Freddy line is so bad it's hard to rewatch.
Again,
I think it's horrible. I
know you do. And
But what Freddy line are you talking about, though?
I'll tell you.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's no secret. I'm definitely the most liberal guy on here right now. There's no debate in that either. That line doesn't bother me.
That doesn't make it right.
What's the
It
one
doesn't bother you?
Which line? The
very racist
How Sweet
line.
Dark Meat.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's very racist.
it's
Cheap heat. It's cheap heat.
It was the time,
and it doesn't make it okay. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like it then. I don't like it now.
It's something.
Why? But here's the thing: people weren't really bitching about it 20 years ago.
No.
Right, but I mean, I didn't like it then. I'm not saying that we should cancel Nightmare on Elm Street or Robert Englund. You know what I mean?
But I will say this: that line was said to gain cheap heat.
Yeah.
Really gain cheap heat.
Yeah.
And then you got to consider the guy saying it's going to say bad things.
Was it funny at the time? Oh man, I cracked up laughing. I'm not. But I mean, it is what it is. That's what happens in horror movies. You turn around and say a line, and it gains you cheap heat.
JP brought this up about Jason Goes to Hell. He went from Ohio to New Jersey, and Jason Goes to Hell as well. He went from he went back.
Jason was from New Jersey. He went to Ohio just to go back to New Jersey.
He went to the Youngstown. It was in Youngstown, the FBI place.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, you're number 11.
My number 11 is Part 8, and I grade this as an F because it's called Jason Takes Manhattan. It's not Jason Takes a Cruise. A lot of the kills take place on the cruise, which is just like, what the fuck? It's supposed to be taken in Manhattan. A lot of those like alleyways and everything, they weren't filmed in Manhattan. There were only very few scenes, and Inman will attest to it. Only make maybe like what, a handful, not even.
Just Times Square.
Times Square.
In Manhattan. So Jason's supposed to take Manhattan. What the fuck? Jason didn't take Manhattan. Jason took over a cruise ship and decided to get sunbathed.
Right.
Now, the story, iffy, very iffy, but as all around, I don't know. I that's why I grade that one an F and I put it as 11. Part 8.
Not good.
Right on. See, with them using Vancouver as New York, that doesn't bother me so much. I mean, Cleveland, Ohio, downtown Cleveland has been New York so many times in Marvel movies.
Yeah, you're 100% correct on that. And Vancouver really isn't that much of a difference, but you're trying to pass it off as New York. Now you're taking a guy that lives literally right outside New York,
right? And then Ryan as well, going up there.
That's not how that alley looks. That alley don't exist. That don't exist. Oh, 50-100 Broadway, that exists. Times Square exists.
Yeah, and then they're making it like they have the toxic waste. They made New York look so bad.
Toxic waste scene. Don't even get me started on it. So I'm done with that. I'm done with that.
When he kills the the sewer worker, the whole
Yeah.
shadow.
That was it. I actually wasn't like, oh my god. I was like,
Yeah, they had very bad special effects in that too. I mean, it was
Right.
just this is not a good movie, man.
no. But
All
is
right.
it watchable? Yes, it's watchable.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
All right.
all of them.
All right,
All
Randy.
right.
Well, like Ricky just said, the race related, they overkilled it with what? Because you think I'm black, I sell drugs, or you think I'm black because I'm gonna make rap music? Like, really?
That was the remake.
Yeah, no, in the remake, that was funny actually.
Yeah, actually it was.
Or you think I'm black? I'm gonna pump your gas? Like,
But yeah. So on that note, Freddy versus Jason is my number 11 least favorite. I gave it a D-, as I said. So did Ryan, and we covered pretty much everything in that. So we'll move on to Ryan's 11.
My 11 is Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, and I dislike it for the same reasons these gentlemen said. And Rob Hedden, again, looks like Adam Marcus, seems like a nice guy, in over his head. Not enough
I think he
budget.
wasn't. I mean, he was. I think Adam was dealing with Sean Cunningham. That's why.
Yeah. I would really like to. I would really like to see what Adam would have done if he had more freedom with the script and
Yeah,
everything.
it
I'd
seems
like
like
to-
when he does a franchise movie, it seems like the studio just after he films it, they edit it, and it's not like what he wanted, or what he wrote.
Well, in
So-
Texas Chainsaw, he didn't direct that. He just wrote the script.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry, but like,
Okay, but
just
in my
imagine,
opinion,
like,
that's one of the better Texas Chainsaws. I love it. But
Well, I would like
It
to
was
see what Rob
okay.
Hedden could have done with this thing with a budget, but nothing.
yeah, if Paramount didn't slash the budget to basically nothing, it probably would have been a lot better. I mean, I'm glad we didn't get the final scene where it was like the big puppet head of Jason.
the giant
They come
Jason
out.
head that looked so fake. Oh my god!
We didn't get that one either.
I was gonna bring
but
that
anyway,
up. I'm glad you did. Yeah,
I'll finish
it's
up with 8.
awful.
My least favorite thing at 8 was Tamara Mason, and I went over that and the reasons why. Because
Yeah, he did a whole rant about it. We
made
posted
no
the
fucking
rant
sense.
as a reel.
the character made no sense. It was impossible. It just no.
Well,
There's
there
no
really
light.
wasn't any character that I really cared for in that film, except for
Julius.
the dog,
Julius,
Julius,
yeah, Julius.
and the dog.
The dog. Yeah.
Was a chip off the old block when he got his head knocked off. So
Shout out to VC.
Worst final girl
We
ever.
got to get VC. We'll get VC on here one of these days.
Yeah, I think I'm out to him to come on. I think I talked to him. I'm pretty sure.
I've
So, but
talked to
we'll-
him, not about coming on here, just in general, but
Right on.
we'll
So
get
we
to
got Brian's number 10. I think that's where we're at, right?
Yes.
Yeah, my number.
We got Ryan's going to
10
keep us on
is,
track because God knows I
Jason-
can't.
Jason Takes Manhattan. My number 10.
Jason Takes Manhattan. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm pretty sure that's going to make sure that one ends up at the bottom of the list for for the finale list.
Mm-hmm.
It's the not that one. That one.
Toby, yeah, Toby was his name.
All right. Well, we've already pretty much gone over this because it's in our bottom 3, all 4 of our bottom 3s.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
move on to Mike.
it's getting to the bottom. So, Mike, what do you got for number 10?
I got part 5.
Oh no!
I got part 5 because how can I explain this after seeing the shock look on Inman's face? I mean, you see 3 different Jasons in one thing. Granted, it wasn't that bad of a different type of a Friday movie story and everything, but a copycat of Jason. I think if they would have kept with the running thing with Jarvis staying there and ultimately becoming the heir to the throne.
That's what I think should have happened, and I would have loved
I
it.
think the ending would have made a lot more sense going into 6, but I had to rank this at part 10 as number 10 because it's like, okay, it was good. Now, there was a good amount of humor in it because you want to expect that in horror movies. Like if I was to lay down a candy bar in front of Inman and he gave me a nasty attitude and he hit it with an axe and I told him to forget about it and then I think you're out of line, I would expect him to hack me up with an axe as well. But I mean, you see three different types of Jasons in total of the actual Jason from part 4 transitioning into part 5. Okay. Was that necessary? No. You could have kept it as one Jason in a dream sequence that Tommy Jarvis was going with. Now, copycat Jason, okay, so Roy went off the rails because his son he saw butchered all in half and limb by
He
limb.
didn't even take care of or give a shit about.
And, you know, all right, so now you're going out, and you know what?
Yeah.
Screw these cats. I'm turning around and killing them. And I thought one of the coolest kills, in my opinion, was when he stuck the flare in the guy's mouth and shoved it down his throat.
I like that Ryan did not.
Rat tootie. This car better start. Rat tootie.
Bobby had the pleasure of watching part 5 with Amy at the drive-in, and she thought it was weird. She says, Amy Steele, she said she's seen 1 through 3, and now she's seen 5. That's a pretty good person to watch the movie with, though.
Well,
I would put part 5 as number 10. I know there's probably more I can, but let's keep the flow going.
Right on.
Now, I'll just say real quick, Mike's opinion on that movie was not uncommon at all, like 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
But I think perception on that one has changed more than any other one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we'll get to
Don't
that.
get me wrong. Okay, so let me elaborate on that comment right there, Raymond. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy watching the movie.
Yeah.
I really do.
Somebody's got to be 10. That's it.
You know, but I just rank it as number 10.
There's 12
We
movies,
get
and
it.
one of them has to be 10.
Like, if you set me in front of to watch part 5 over part 8, I'll watch part 5 any day.
Of course.
So for me, for
Especially for Wanda.
for ranking number 9, I have the
10,
2009
10,
remake.
10. You're on 10.
All right,
You
so 10.
get
That's
10.
what I meant. That's what I meant. 2009 remake.
10. 2000 remake, you rank as 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have them written down in the order we reviewed them, and that one is next to number 9. That's why I said that. But I ranked it number 9, and I gave that one a C- for the grade. Ryan gave it a D+, so we weren't too far off in the way we felt about it. I don't know where Ryan's going to rank it, but I had that ranked 10. And the first, as Ryan will say too, the first 20 minutes of the movie before the title screen is some of the best shit ever done in Friday the 13th. It's got some of the better kills. The sleeping bag kill in that is way better than Kane's sleeping bag kill. Derek Mears is an animal in it. He's amazing. There's some funny lines. There's some decent acting. The central cast is horrible.
It was stupendous.
They were stupendous. I didn't care about not a one of them. And that's the thing about, especially in the first couple Friday the 13th movies, you really get invested in these characters. And now that we've had the opportunity to meet and hang out with some of these guys, and they're just such cool people.
That comment should be stricken from the.
I'll get to that in a second. But as we've gotten to hang out with some of these people, we care about them almost like we cared about their characters.
Watch the remake over part 2 and 3? Yeah, no.
Oh, wow. Wow, JP, dude. On your birthday, we're going to let this slide, I guess.
Let it go.
So I didn't care about anybody in the cast
When it comes
whatsoever.
to the one thing I forgot to add when it comes to part 5, and it reflects to you two cats, damn those goddamn enchiladas. Sorry, I had to put that out there.
So Rick, you had the remake at 10.
10, yeah.
So my 10 is Freddy versus Jason. We've already covered that one. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Eh.
Not much else we can talk about. We've covered
No.
everything. Yep.
So that's my number 10. So now we move on to Brian's number 9.
My
Brian's
number
number
9 is kind of coincidental. Jason Goes to Hell.
Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. So we got Brian's got Jason Goes to Hell at number 9. What about you, Mike? Number 9.
Well, when it comes to number 9, I'm torn between 2 movies. And I had to put them as a tie at number 9. So I'm going to pick one.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with, even though it's tied with the other one, part 6, Jason Lives.
Yeah, you're so far off from what Ryan likes in these movies. It's so funny.
Well, nothing for nothing. I mean,
You got 3 of Ryan's favorites from
I'm
9 to
looking
12.
at his face and everything like that. Don't get me wrong. I love part 6, but in a way, first of all, in the previous movies, unmasking Jason was always visible. In part 6, it was barely visible, if at all.
I really don't.
That's
I only
what
know what
I
it looks
get
like
with
from
it.
seeing mask makers make the
Yeah.
mask. It doesn't stick out in my head the way 7 does.
Now,
The
the
way
way
2 does.
Should have had a proper
No,
unmasking at the end.
I could see by Inman's face he's disappointed in me, but
Yeah.
I thought there was. Now, I saw how the movie was going. There was a little too much humor with that, with bringing Jason back to life. And there were a lot of jokes and quirks and everything like that. Maybe it's what the Tom McLaughlin was going for. I felt maybe a little more of a serious tone should have went.
See, for me,
I do give it a good grading. Don't get me wrong. I know why he did the way reviving Jason, because he was a big affinity in a big fan of like
Universal Horror.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I was gonna say. He did the story kind of like Frankenstein, which
Yeah,
was cool.
he did, but I thought maybe, and it could have been done a little differently. But for all it's worth, I mean, one of my favorite scenes out of that movie in part 6 was when he turned around and stuck, while the court is turning around and blasting Teenage Frankenstein, and he gets the dagger in the ear and flips the Winnebago, and Jason stands on top and everything.
Right on. Yeah, that's good stuff. I seen Cooper. Speaking of Alice Cooper, I seen him do Man Behind the Mask the other day live, and it was fucking amazing.
Oh, he loves doing that song, actually. I've read a lot of interviews. My cousin is actually a really huge Alice Cooper fan, and he's seen it do it live, and Alice Cooper goes all out.
Yeah, oh yeah. He had Jason cosplayers on stage killing people and shit. It was awesome.
Yeah, but I tied at number 9 with another one. And these two movies I was really torn about.
Right on. So we'll get back to your number 8 when we circle back around. But yeah, that's you really stopped everybody with that the hate of part 6.
It's not a hate. Don't get me wrong.
No, I know, but I mean, just really, wow. You got 3. You had ranked 4 movies. 3 of them are 3 of Ryan's favorites in the bottom 4. That's amazing. 3 of my favorites too.
I'm sorry, I mean, you could turn around and stab me in the neck if you want.
All right, so my number 9 would be Jason Goes to Hell. That's where I'm at with that one. And again, I gave it a C-. Ryan gave it an F-. There's a lot of stuff I really like about it. I thought it was decently made. I don't think it deserves all the hate it gets. I can kind of see why some people don't like it. I liked this movie when I first seen it. Then I didn't like it, and then I liked it. And then after hearing Adam Marcus really explain what he was going for in it, it crept up a little bit more on my list. And I watch it quite a bit because for some strange reason, even though he has never really said it seems like it's Ricky's favorite because that's the one he always picks to watch. This and part 8. I don't know. I think he knows how much I don't like part 8, so I think that's why he picks part 8 to torture me. But those are the 2 he seems to watch the most. So, there's that. But, right on. So, Ryan, what do you have coming in at number 9?
Wow. I'm still just kind of.
I know you're speechless. I know.
I'm sorry, Eamon. I'm sorry.
Stop. Not getting into it yet. We'll wait. My number 9 is the remake. I have it at 9, and Rick kind of went over that already. So
pretty much exact same thoughts. Yeah.
Go ahead.
First 20 minutes great. Last movie makes it just who cares. All right, so I guess we're moving on to number 8 with Brian. What do you got, Brian?
I got the reboot as my number 8.
Right on.
Like you said, the first 20 minutes was great. I did not like any of the characters. I mean, I like Clay. I liked, I think it was Jenna was not the final girl, Like,
Is she the one that got the knife to the head? The machete to the head?
No. She was the one who just
she was the one that was almost the final girl, the fake final girl.
That was a good shock. I like that, because I really liked her. I didn't really care for his sister, whether she lived or died. I just, and Derek Mears was a beast.
Derek Mears was amazing. I hope he gets to play the character again.
Yeah, me too. Fingers crossed, but who knows?
So what do you have tied with part 6 that you could have swapped and would have shocked Ryan a lot less if you'd have switched those 2 probably. But
I know I'm going to shock Inman on this one. Part
Mike
3.
is killing the franchise.
I'm going with part 3.
Oh, okay, that's understandable. Had you had those flopped, I think it would have looked a little bit better.
No, and the reason why I go with part 3 tied with part 6. All right, so the first 2 went with the summer camp thing. Number 1, this had nothing to do with a summer camp. It had to do with a private camp that was owned.
Mm-hmm.
And number 1. Number 2, it was based around a pond, not a lake. Okay? Jason comes out of Crystal Lake, not Crystal Pond. Not only that, who in their right mind is able to escape Jason's grasp once he grabs you?
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
seriously.
But Jason was heavily injured from part 2.
No. Well, think of it this way. He was well enough to pull the machete out in the very beginning after going through all the actions of part 2 and everything. And he turned around and was able to change his uniform, code, conduct, whatever, and stuff. But seriously, who escapes Jason's fucking grasp? Not only that, in 3D.
Right.
Now, I've only watched it in 3D once.
I've seen it in 3D in the theater. It was awesome.
I seen it. I had the luxury of, someone had a Blu-ray with a that can do like the 3D, wear the glasses and everything. Not a lot of it was shot in 3D. Only certain scenes were.
Yeah.
So what the fuck?
Well, that's 1980. That's the way they did it back then. But I will. It's my number 8. That's also my number 8 is part 3, and I think it's a very fun movie. It's a quick watch. It moves pretty fast.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to see it in 3D if you can. Did they have it at the Mahoning in 3D when you were there, Brian?
No.
Okay.
Which was cool was at the beginning of the movie, I guess.
Yeah.
They had, I don't know, it was weird. They had, I guess it was the original 35 millimeter print, but not the 3D copy. But it said, and this must have been when it played, in 3D. The first 5 minutes is not 3D, so you don't need your glasses or something. And that was basically the intro from part 2.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I had it at I had that also at number 3, or number 3 at number 8, and me and Ryan, we kind of beat this one up in our review a little bit, when we were doing the long form review, and it's just, it's okay for what it is. It's a good popcorn movie. There's people getting killed. It's cool. Of course,
I will say,
Richard Brooker was amazing.
Great Jason.
Yeah, just it's not a great movie, but I have it at number 8, and we both gave it a C-.
Yep, and I have a big surprise. Part 3 is also my number 8.
All right.
That's 3 in a row.
That almost makes it guaranteed to be number 8 in the rankings, depending on how high Brian has it.
That actually doesn't.
Well, if 3 of us have it at 8, that's the average is 3.
Doesn't matter because people weigh other movies higher and lower. It doesn't matter, Rick.
If all 4 of us had it,
I'll explain it to you later.
All right, okay. I don't think you're right. But okay.
That's because Emin's mad at how I ranked part 6.
Right on. So, on to you, Brian. What is your number 8 movie?
Number 7.
7.
Well, yeah.
Oddly enough, again in the series, The New Blood is my number 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it falls right at number 7. Falls at 7 for you.
Yep.
What? Tell us something you liked about it. Something maybe you didn't like about it.
Oh, of course, like everyone says, the look of Jason.
Amazing.
Yeah. And aside from, the characters, they were good cast of characters, but I look at, and this is weird, the clothing in part 7, so out of place for, you go from part 6, normal clothing, and part 7, there's very odd clothing, but that's just me. But people gripe about the telekinesis part, something different, it gave Jason a run for his money. That's when it kind of started jumping the shark with the telekinesis.
Yeah, but Jason was so powerful, you needed something extra to be able to beat him, I think. I didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I just love the whole every time she would use her power.
Yeah, I liked 7. Obviously the special effects were off the charts.
Yeah, oh yeah, John Carl Bigelow was awesome. I just
Right.
wish we got the true ending with the dad looking like a zombie. I think that would have been a little bit more effective.
That was the biggest thing. Like, because I mean, what did that really hurt to leave it that way? I mean,
right.
They made such a big deal about something so dumb, you know. And I wish some of the other kills were still in there.
Brace yourself for Dirty Face Man.
Right. Rich Embleton, never seen this guy's name. Thanks for joining the show. He says a sleeping bag killed, which obviously is in that one. Jordan Wincheck joined us. Says, what's up? And my thing, let's see, what do we got here? This is a long thing, so I'll put it up here to read. My thing with the Friday the 13th films is this. I always thought the first one had a Hitchcock feel. And that one I didn't love any. After that one, I didn't love any of them until they got completely bonkers. Because we know JP likes bonkers shit. That's for sure.
I think Rich Embleton might be from the Fears on the Menu event page I have. So,
right on. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that later on in the show for sure. So where are we at? We're at Mike 7. Mike 7.
I go with part 9. Jason Goes to Hell.
Right on.
And the reason why is, come on, you basically ripped off the Evil Dead without mentioning the Evil Dead. The Kandarian Dagger, Necronomicon Ex Mortis, but you also never mention on why he was still spiritually alive. And not only that, you got to eat his heart. That way he jumps from body to body to body to body to body. Come on. And then, and then all of a sudden, Duke comes. A Voorhees has to kill the Voorhees. Now you mention that, but yet you break someone's fingers to do it. I mean, it was a decent enough movie to watch.
I like Steve Williams.
No, Steve Williams is fucking awesome. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, not bad. But now, but yet you don't turn around and incorporate the Evil Dead because you did it not only once but twice. Right. And if I'm not mistaken, then Rick and Inman, you can probably correct me. The Necronomicon was seen once in the movie, but yet you don't mention it, which is probably because copyrights with Evil Dead and
that was Adam Marcus's way of explaining how Jason could survive from drowning as a little boy, is that his mother did the whole Necronomicon thing and he became a Deadite.
Yeah, well, it wasn't really well explained, so I put it there.
Because I mean, the rights issue.
Was it enjoyable to watch? It was, but yeah, I give it maybe a C minus.
I don't know if you can read. Can you read that, Ryan? If you can, I'll read it for you.
I can. Now get it off.
So
and I always
my biggest problem with Jason Goes to Hell, before we move on, is they fucking spelled Voorhees wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
How do you do that? And allegedly there's a story behind that, and it's going to be in the Heart of Darkness documentary that Adam's got coming out, and I can't wait to hear it. But yeah, how does that pass that many Friday the 13th fans? I don't know. But so it's on to me, and what number am I at, Ryan? I'm at 7, right? 7? Okay. For 7, I have an well, they're starting to get good now from here on. And for 7, I have Jason X. I have Jason X in my 7th movie. I fucking love it. I'm wearing the shirt today because I knew it would be Brian's least favorite, so I wanted to do that.
And I have to say I do own the same shirt, even though I don't like the movie.
I love everything about it. I love the look of Jason. I love the kills. I'd love to, now that we have these places where we can go play these giant VR games, I want to go play that game that they were playing and put Jason into it. I mean, God, how cool would that be? We have the capability. Yeah. So one of us needs to get enough money to make that happen. But right on. So now we are on to Ryan's 7, if my calculations are correct.
Yeah. Yep. My number 7 is part 7, the New Blood.
Part 7, okay.
Which, it was the very first one we covered long form when, we had no idea what we were doing on the show. Now we have half an idea what we're doing.
Yeah, we're doing a little bit better. We're better at the reviews.
But yeah, that one, painful to go back and listen to because that's when we were still going scene by scene by scene. Fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think every time we do a review, a long form review, we get better at it.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I agree.
But for 7, yeah, that was early on, and we basically just recited the movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
For the most part. You know, so we had to tighten that up. I gave 7 a B. Ryan gave it a C minus, and for 10, I gave it a C plus, and Ryan gave it a C minus. And you'll notice that Ryan's grades are much harsher than mine. You know, in these. So he has 2 A's though. We haven't gotten to him yet, but he does have 2 A's in the.
So we're at the halfway point now. We're in everybody's top 6 out of these 12. So
Mm-hmm.
Brian, take it away.
My 6 is A New Beginning.
Okay, part 5.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. The only thing, well, you see what this Rich says. Rich says the only thing I like about 9 was that it had the dude from the Friday 13th series in it. Yeah, and he was supposed to be Tommy Jarvis, but they couldn't get the rights because the rights were all messed up.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was supposed to be Tommy Jarvis, but when Paramount sold the rights, they sold the rights to Jason, some other stuff, but they couldn't get the character names, and they couldn't get the name Friday the 13th. Either.
Yeah, that's why I think the New Line Cinema films are in a universe all their own. You know,
that's acceptable.
And it's funny that they were going to get John De La May to play Tommy Jarvis, because his version of Tommy Jarvis was a better version than, and people might hate me, Tom Matthews. Tom Matthews. He's iconic, but he's I'm not including Corey Feldman because he was a kid.
John De La May would be closer to
the
part
John
5.
Shepard, because
at
the end he went knuckle to knuckle with Jason and kind of gave him a little fight of his own too.
Yeah. Right on.
All right, on to Mike's number 6.
Number 6 would be part 7. I don't know what I really didn't like about. There were some holes in the plot line. Telekinesis, and then you could turn around and see what happened or what could happen. That's not how telekinesis works. Don't get me wrong. The way Jason looked was very badass.
Yeah,
that was the most badass looking Jason. Now, why they didn't keep that going in more rotting form and everything, I have no idea. I don't work for Paramount, but if it was up to me,
it cost a lot of money. They didn't want to pay him after 7. He's even more well known and better.
Keep that going and everything. Well, you look at part 8. Part 8, when he's trying to put that thing in the girl in the boat, that spear and whatnot. Kane Hodder's index finger is showing like a real finger.
Oh, wow. Well, we have to go back and look at that.
Here's the thing about part 5. Now, here's the thing about part 5. When the one dude hits that one girl in the ass with the slingshot, hits her in the one cheek, but yet she turns around and rubs the other cheek.
2. That's 2,
right?
Yeah. That's 2. Yeah.
So,
but yeah,
maybe they took 2. Maybe they took 2 takes, and the take with her touching her other side was, reaction to her getting hit on the other side.
That's how I feel about part 7. It was a great look for Jason. It was different with the telekinesis, but it could have been done differently. Right. And I have to agree, if the father came up out of the lake to pull Jason down in the zombie form,
the dumbest change ever. That would have made no sense, and it wasn't offensive, and it was't grotesque, and there was no reason at all to cut that. And there was no reason the MPAA even was worrying about that. But I also have it at number I have number 7 at number 6. Am I supposed to be at 6?
Yep.
Number 6.
Okay, cool. Yep. I gotta have Ryan keep me on track because I'll screw up. All right, so Ryan, what would be your number 6?
Like that.
Part 7 was your number 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. That's where I'm supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're on to your number 6 whenever you're ready, sir.
My number 6 is going to be part 5.
Part 5. All right.
I like it a lot. I do. But I just like 5 better.
Yeah, that's it. That was his line for Adrian King in the Final Girl episode.
And
I got her number 6 because I like 5 better.
Yeah, it's grown on me the most over the years. I couldn't stand it when I was a teenager, but I like it a lot now, and it made the top half. So
My friend, I'll send you a picture. He cosplayed as Joey at the Mahoney on Saturday night because they're playing part 5.
Nice. I didn't
He even
see
had
that,
the
but
chocolate. He even had the chocolate streaks.
I seen
Man, that's awesome.
I seen Steve and what's your name from the diner.
That was great, and I
That was
invited
so
them.
good,
I
dude.
invited them to come down to the diner on Friday 13th because they would be the hit. You know,
It
cosplay.
definitely would. Definitely.
And then
would.
there was a really good one I'll send you where a woman was dressed as a decapitated Mrs. Voorhees, where she had a cardboard box like over her head, and then she had it draped like a table, and the candles glued on. So at
I've
nighttime,
seen that, but I thought it was
Yeah.
just. I didn't know it was a person.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that was just an altar somebody set up.
No, yeah, she was walking around, and
Wow.
it really looked better at night because she turned the candles on. Yeah.
That is cool.
all right, Brian, we're into the top 5, man.
My 5 is part 6. Jason Lives.
Okay. Right on. So I guess we're gonna move on to Mike's part 5. What do you got? Or number 5?
Freddy versus Jason.
Got that pretty high, man. That's crazy.
Actually, it was very enjoyable to watch. Actually, after the first time I watched it, I was like, what the fuck am I watching? They took too long to put this out. No kills by Freddy. Little cartoonish. Left it open for a sequel, but yet no sequel came out.
No.
Then you watch it a second, maybe a third, fourth time, and I'm like, this is actually pretty, decent and everything. But the main thing is I didn't like about it was there were no kills by Freddy, and
Right, it made sense in the story,
It took
but-
way too long to put out. I mean, they've had this plan since '87.
That was our least favorite Jason when we did our Jason poll.
Or
No,
Ken,
actually, as a Jason, I didn't think that it wasn't a good Jason.
No, he wasn't.
What was it? The guys, I know the last name, Kersinger,
Ken Gersinger, yeah.
Yeah.
because he did one stunt in part 8 for Kane Hodder because they didn't want Kane to do the stunt, the car scene where he got hit
That's
by
the
the
only
cop.
one he did. Yep.
Ken,
Oh,
he
that-
also
you know what else
did
that
the-
makes
he
it,
was also
right?
the waiter or the cook.
He was
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
in the restaurant.
Ken
Yep.
Ken Kersinger in part 8, the not so handsome diner guy.
Yeah. So, trivia question for people: there's actually 2 people that have played Jason in multiple movies, and unfortunately, Ken Gersinger is one of them.
Right.
And the main reason they wanted him to be Jason in Freddy vs. Jason because they wanted to be taller than Robert, but Robert's only 5'7".
Is
If
he
you
really?
shoot that at an angle,
Oh, wow.
Kane is a decent height
Robert is
himself.
I thought Robert was at least like 5'10",
No way.
maybe.
He's
Wow.
No way.
Okay.
He's
I
like,
could be wrong, but I mean, I've seen him next to
So
other
then,
people.
Kane Hodder would have been a good size against him then.
Right, Kane's
Of course.
6'2", and he
Yeah.
wears those 4-inch boots. You know, that may get you about to 6'5", 6'6". You know,
and Kane Hodder was actually depressed that he didn't get picked for Freddy versus
Yeah.
Jason.
He was
Oh
very-
yeah, he
We
broke
went
down in
over that.
tears.
absolutely.
And the
He's
fans
still
were
upset
depressed
today.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I hated it too.
Yeah, so
All
it just
right,
made no
Rick, number
sense for them
5,
to
man.
go with them. Only thing I can think is it's cheaper. But so where am I at? I'm at number
You're
5, right?
Yep.
And I have the movie that me and Ryan are going to go see on Tuesday. I got the final chapter, which Zigzag somewhere back here in the comments commented that was his favorite. Yeah, the final chapter. I think it's great. I think Ted White is not Tim White, as I said last week. Ted White is probably the best Jason. I think we had him mutually at the top, right? No, I had Steve Dash higher.
You did.
I had Steve Dash, but I had him at number 2. So, yeah, great Jason. The story was sweet. I loved it. There's characters in there you still cared about. There were the later ones you didn't. Yeah, it's great movie.
Yeah, more on that one to come for sure.
Shortly, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So let's go with you. Are we at 5 for you, Ryan?
Well,
Yeah.
oh, Ryan, okay.
My number 5. And Mike putting part 6 so low was pretty shocking, but I think I might shock people a little bit more with this one.
I already know where you're going, buddy.
It's Jason X.
Oh, wow.
I have it in
didn't
my
think
top
that.
5.
Well, yeah, because there's 4
Ow.
better. I mean, it's good, but there's 4 better.
I like
More
it,
than
man. Is it a better film than some of these? Probably not. But do I like it more? I do.
And that's what this is about.
And
Yeah.
what is it about it that is in your top 5?
because it doesn't pretend to be anything other than what it is. It knows it's cheesy, campy fun. The kills are fucking sweet. I like the side characters. I like the humor. And I love part 6. Everyone knows that. Spoiler alert. It's higher than this one because I haven't said it yet. And it's really the only other Friday the 13th film that had those one-liners and that kind of dark, like, gross humor to it, self-aware. And it's the only other one that did it. Did it do it as well as 6? Of course not. But, yeah, see, I knew JP would be on my side.
Oh, yeah, he loves it.
But, yeah, I had it higher than Rick, and I'm a little surprised. I probably, gun to my head, like, without writing these down and really going over it, I wouldn't have thought that I would have had it this high, but I did, man. I like it a lot. It's not my favorite. Again, there's ones I rank lower that are probably better films, but I love it.
Right on.
And number 5.
Okay, so we're up to your number 4 now. We're moving right along. We might be able to get out on time.
That would be part 3 for me.
Part 3, yeah. And part 3 is just there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's such a fun movie to rewatch that you.
And like you say, it's
not bad.
It goes by so quick. Like I was talking to Bobby Heckman, the majority of the movie, like I didn't realize how long it was. I'm like, oh crap, he just killed Ali, and so yeah.
If you take out the intro, like fucking 15 minutes.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like all the
recap of 2.
The one thing I will say though, the third act goes on for a while, but the first 2 acts go by quick.
Yeah.
Right on. So what did you have for where we at? 4?
4 for Mike.
4. Number 4, Mike.
I go with the remake.
You got to rank high, man.
I go with the remake because from beginning to almost middle of the movie, they happen to have squeezed in the first 4 movies.
Mm-hmm.
I did like that.
I thought that was pretty genius. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they squeezed all that in because in the beginning, they turned around and did the first movie. They made the reference. Obviously, before the beginning credits rolled, you had part 2 with Sackhead Jason. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden, you had not only, if you guys remember in part 4, the guy looking for his sister.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he found the hockey mask.
Yep.
And the one thing I didn't, agree with it was, dude, was Jason just really protecting a weed crop? Because that's what it seemed like. Nothing wrong about it. Because if I was Jason, I'd be like, "Yo, man, you stealing my stash? Fuck you! Just slash it."
It was growing in Jason's head there.
Yeah, the hockey mask under the sea. And I just thought that, it was very enjoyable to watch. The rich bastard, I thought he deserved to fucking die because he was just
he was did we do a list of the characters that we didn't like them, the bad guy characters? We did one. We never did one. We've talked about it though, and he's definitely up there for us.
Yeah, he definitely is up there.
As secondary antagonist.
They included like the first 4 movies in almost like less than an hour, which I thought was great because you kind of got a feel of like how Jason is. Now, what I also don't like about the 2009 remake is it left it open for a sequel to continue the series.
That's when the rights got really screwed up and we got nowhere.
But this was before all the rights got fucked up.
And then that's why we went nowhere.
Why couldn't you continue it?
But I guess now,
But I put the remake at number 4.
I get it. I've seen people actually have it as their number 1, younger people, but I've seen it.
Right.
All right, Rick, your number 4.
So my number 4 is going to be Jason Lives.
Okay.
Friday the 13th Part 6.
Okay.
I think me and Ryan both gave this an A. I think it's, and by the way, I gave this Part 4 was the only one that Ryan gave a better grade than me. I think he gave it an A. I gave it a B. But for Part 6, we both gave it an A. It's easily the best zombie Jason. Like I said, the throwback to Frankenstein. It was really cool. Yeah, I really liked it.
Okay. Fair enough. We'll talk about that again in a little while.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure you have some things to say about it. We'll get to that.
So
Right,
my
number one on your list.
my number four, and I'm not surprised I have this the lowest, even though 4 isn't low, is the original 1980 Friday the 13th.
Wow.
That's
The way Mike was
what's
going,
wild
I thought
about
he
that?
was going to have it way low too, and we was going to really break the internet.
4 isn't that low. It's in the top third.
No, it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good ranking.
Yeah. See, it's great. It's actually, I had it higher when I was like younger, and then I got a little older and I moved it way down, but now it's gone back up. And I think honestly, by going to Blairstown now and like seeing all that in person and actually being there, I think I appreciate it more. I think if I never made that trip a few years ago, it would be lower.
JP says that's where he has it ranked as well.
Now, is it, again, it's your favorite, more well-made. It's very well-made. It's not my favorite. There's ones below it, again, that I like more, but this is more well-made. So I kind of weigh that into the, these mitigating factors. And that fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing.
God damn you, Leatherface, you bitch.
Yeah, I had to switch it up. Too many people had the Jason thing, so I had to be different.
So yeah, I got it at 4. I got it at 4, man, and I don't feel bad about it. I have it the lowest, obviously, because I'm going last.
Right.
So, but yeah,
Kevin's favorite,
that's not uncommon.
Right.
So
hang on. So
Kevin's comment is not.
Brian, what do you got for your number 3?
My number 3 is Part 4.
Part 4. Okay. Yeah, that's what I had at number 4 as well. Is there something you liked about it? Something maybe you didn't like about it? Maybe.
Well, the best part to me is Ted White as Jason. Honestly, there's really nothing I do not like,
Right,
I mean, the only thing that I still wonder to this day, what happened to Gordon?
Gordon lived. Gordon got the hell out of Dodge, and he lived.
He went to go visit his girlfriend.
Whatever. He was like, these guys are
girlfriend.
tripping. I'm jumping out of this window, and I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I can't think of anything wrong with Part 4. It's very good pace. It goes by pretty good. It would have been better. I would have loved to see the original song that Crispin Glover was dancing to.
Was it Back in Black?
I think so. Yes.
It was.
Back in Black.
But yeah, I mean, I honestly can't think of anything bad about Part 4.
Right on.
Yeah. Number 3, Mike.
I go with Part 2.
All right.
It could have been a little bit better of a continuing story. I understand it was like between 5 years between the original events of Camp Blood and now with Part 2. But you also got to ask yourself, like, what happened to Ted? Did he go home with the barmaid? Did he find his own way home?
Hey, he got the fuck out of there. Yeah.
Actually, Part 2 wasn't that bad. And I found it enjoyable when I first watched it. And, I can't remember the very first Friday movie I watched, but, once you see one, you've seen them all. But not only that, each one has, like, their own little story. Like, I liked it that it took 5 years between each story. Yeah. But in that 5 years, did Jason keep killing? Did Jason stay dormant?
You're gonna have to watch His Name Was Jason. The Friday 13th
film. In the
Wait, which film?
His Name Was Jason.
Oh yeah, His Name Was Jason. Have you seen that?
I have it. Actually, I have it.
No, not the. I'm talking about not the documentary though. There's a documentary called His Name Was Jason. They did a fan film called His Name Was Jason. And Brian's in it. It's great.
Yeah, it bridges the gap between 1 and 2. Kind of gives you like a little idea,
yeah,
like what he could have done.
It's like 1.5.
Yeah,
I'll have to look that one.
Good, really well done.
It's not bad. And then just
I mean, the other fan films I've seen, they were actually pretty well done as well.
Some are not.
Some are not. Kevin recently went to some of the filming locations from Part 2 up there in Connecticut. I want to go check that
out. Dave Brown and I are talking about doing that maybe like next year.
Yeah, because Part 2, if I'm not mistaken, was filmed up in Connecticut.
Yeah. The Packenac's gone, but you can still see like the hill where the gas station was and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's pretty much all. That's
Right.
pretty. Careful what you say, boys. That's pretty. Dave Brown's on. Careful what you say.
Dave, what's up, man? He's the director of his name was Jason, writer director.
And
And if I'm not
he
mistaken, he
played
was Jason, wasn't he?
He was Jason. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Disney owns.
Look that up on YouTube.
He is the next oldest person to play Jason besides Ted White.
Right on.
Oh.
I have this as number two. Number two I have as number 3 as well.
Okay.
And a little fun fact about that.
I thought we were still on number 3 because I just gave number 3.
Yeah,
He
I have
gives
number 2
3.
at number
At
3.
number 3.
Oh, okay.
It's also my number 3.
Okay.
And,
I'm sorry.
I seen Ellen Luter is going to start doing cons, and
Yeah.
I think me and Ryan are the reason for that.
Yes, I
One,
do.
because I've been trying to
Simply
find
do.
her forever to get an autograph,
It's his,
because I need her to complete my collection.
It's his wanting the autograph, and then my search.
Right. Ryan
him
was
for his
uncover
birthday.
all the
I couldn't
rocks he
pull it
could to
off.
try to get it for my birthday.
Yeah.
And that's how we found out she works for Adam Sandler. We had a beat on her, and
Really? She works for
we
Adam
talked to a bunch of
Sandler.
people. What's that?
She works for Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
She's been his wardrober since God, man, like Little Nicky.
Yeah, like way
Oh,
back.
get out. Where's she
Yeah.
based out of now? Is she in
I don't know.
California?
L.A.
Yeah, we couldn't
Okay.
find her. We found a bunch of people that knew her.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
from New York.
Yeah,
She's
but
from
yeah,
New
she's
York.
actually doing
Okay.
some cons,
But
and I think I'm going to get a boot signed by her because she is actually the first person to ever play adult Jason. In part 2, where you see Jason walking in the beginning.
So that's computer 8x10.
Well, I'm going to have her sign a boot, an actual boot.
There you
And,
go.
and
Well,
of course, I'm going to get a Funko as well.
that's
for the
cool. And then
Funko
when
collection.
you go, I'll send you money so you can get me an autograph. That's really
Oh, right.
cool.
I'm definitely
Yeah.
going to Days of the Dead in next year, and then I'm
That's
gonna,
cool.
I'm gonna try. There's a couple other people that I know are. She's 80 years old, so the first time
wow.
if something goes
Every
on
bit
sale
of it.
before this thing happens,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it there because
Yeah.
the people that found Mike DeLuna,
hmm
they also found her, and I
That's
think
cool.
also through me emailing them and trying to get them to find her. I think that might be the reason they did it. So I'm
Nice.
pretty sure you're going to see a thing with them taking pre-orders for Funkos with her real soon.
That's
So-
cool.
And when that happens, I'm going to get one. And then when I see her in person, I'm going to have her sign the boot. But that was my number 3 is part 2. I gave it an A. Ryan gave it a B+.
Yeah.
I think it's my favorite Jason. And the reason being is because he was real. Like this guy could really be out there like that. And the way he was vulnerable, like he wasn't Superman.
Mhm.
And he was just like a nut, crazy motherfucker. And I think that's more scary than anything that, Jason wise in the series. Just my
Kevin,
opinion.
real quick, Kevin wanted to know what show is that you were just talking about where she's going to be at next year.
She's going to be at Days of the Dead, Indianapolis.
Yeah, we'll be posting about that a bunch.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry. We're going.
So it's funny you mention all those things, Rick, because my number 3 is also part 2.
Oh, right on. Cool.
I love it. I like it better than the first one, and I'm the only one of us that does, apparently.
We got to see that at the Blairstown Diner with Brian Emenheiser.
We sure did.
Yeah, that was
We did.
awesome. Yeah.
And sitting next to me for that,
Harry Manfredini.
Mr. Harry
Yeah.
Manfredini.
Yeah, that was cool. We had a great conversation with that guy.
That's
I was
awesome.
really glad he got placed with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really
So,
cool.
top 2, boys.
All right.
So my number 2 is part 2.
All right. Number 2 is part 2. Right on. And you're going to have at the diner, you're going to have a star from that and a star from part 1. If we're on September
2 stars
13th.
from part 1.
Who? Oh, yeah, Ari. Duh.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Ari Lehman, the guy who was on our show last week.
Yes, he was. Man, and the thing with that is I wish I could have promoted that, but he said to come on so many times it didn't. I was just like,
You know what? Even if we knew for sure he was, I'm kind of glad we didn't.
it made the show flow better.
Yeah.
Not only that, but it was just a treat for those who were here. It was a nice little treat for everybody.
Yeah, it was like a surprise.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, and again, you never know what's going to happen on this show.
Absolutely.
There you go.
All
You
right.
never
so-
know when we'll go on either.
Nope. So we're going to Mike,
Mike's number 2.
number 2.
It's my favorite movie in the whole series. I'm going with part 4. Part 4, the reason why I put it as number 2 is because it was the most brutalist entry. I mean, Jason was just Ted White was just relentless.
He was very brutal.
He
Very
was-
deliberate.
Don't
There
get
was no
me wrong.
wasted movement.
Very
Kane
good.
Hodder is great, but Ted White, he was just, I mean, for lack of a better term, fucking brutal.
See-
The kills were a little more creative, and not only that, it was the first Friday movie that took up where the previous one left off. Because
Dave Brown says he's the best hawked Jason.
yeah, I think part 7 is a better hawk, but part 4 actually was pretty good. Ted White, like I said, he was just fast. He was furious.
I just like crushing people.
Now,
Yes.
what Dave meant by best hawk, not
I know what he
law, but just best person behind the hawk.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
And
yeah.
I used to think that that Kane Hodder, like a lot of people, I used to have him as my favorite person portray Jason. But Ryan told me something one day when we first started getting back into this, and he was like, "What's the coolest thing that Kane does? Breathe? He's not supposed to even breathe. He doesn't have lungs." From the whole time he was Jason, he didn't have lungs.
Yeah,
Well, actually, you could turn around and pull that. You could put that one to rest, because if you remember in part 4 when he was in the morgue, they went to go put him in the freezer, and before the door was shut, you saw the breath of air that Jason was.
No, he had lungs then, but when
He had
Kane
lungs.
was Jason, he didn't have lungs.
Yeah.
So that's why Kane's portrayal doesn't make sense, because the signature move was the. But he doesn't have lungs. So after that, I kind of sided with Brian. I moved Ted White ahead of him. And after, of course,
with Kane Hodder, the way I look at it, it's quality over quantity.
right.
But part 4, I would definitely put it number 2.
Number
And
2.
stuff, because it was so brutal. I give that an A+. My favorite Friday movie, and I can never get tired because it's never the final chapter.
Now this one, this is what I'm waiting for, because I knew what Rick's top 2 were going to be.
It's just
And
which
it
order they're
changes-
going to be in.
It changes day by day.
It
with
does.
him,
It changes day by day.
I know it does. So,
And,
I'm
today-
super looking forward to this.
Today I got Friday the 13th Part 5 at number 2. And again, these two, I gave them both A's. I gave 4 of the movies A's. I gave 6 an A, 2 an A, 5 an A, and 1 an A. I love 5, of course, the name of the podcast, Whole Day Enchilada Podcast. We have a little scene in the logo from Friday the 13th Part 5. We got Roy's mask. There's so much I like about Part 5. Ethel, of course, one of my favorite characters. Demon.
Don't you shut the
everything's
fuck
great.
up, you damn dildo.
Right. So, I mean,
You big dildo.
so I mean, we love it. We love her. We love everything about it. And sometimes it is my favorite because it's the one I watched the most as a kid. I don't know if it's the first one I ever watched, but it might have been. I don't think so, though. I think it might have been like the second. I know that when I watched 2 and 1 for the first time, I was shocked that there was no hockey mask in part 2. And then in 1, I was shocked like crazy that Jason never even came, that it was his mom, because I had never seen it, because part 1 came out in 80. I seen part 5 came out 84, 85, right?
I think it was 85.
84?
Part
You
4.
sure?
Part 5 came out
Oh.
in 85. So I was 6 when part 5 came out. So that could be the first one I ever seen. And if it wasn't, it was part 4. 4 or 5, and I seen those a lot. And then when I went back to 2 and 1, it was just like, wait a minute, what's up? So yeah, I love 2. I love 5. But today it is not number 1. Today is number 2.
All right,
Number
now
2,
we're
huh?
we got Ryan.
Okay.
Right?
Ryan's number 2, and I know his number 1 is 6. So what's number 2? I can't do math.
Well, that's where you're wrong, buddy.
Oh, okay.
My number 2 is this
Is
guy.
number 6. Okay.
Okay.
Number 6.
I have so much I want to say about that, but we quite frankly don't have time.
Well, give us something. Give us a little something.
If I do, it's going to be a lot of something. let's circle back to that.
Okay.
Number one for Brian, Mike, and Rick is number one. Is Friday the 13th, 1980. It's Process of Elimination.
Process of Elimination. Don't give us a chance to talk about it. This guy wants to get out and watch football.
Well, here's the thing. All three of you guys have it at number one. I have it high enough at number four. We're not going to argue about anything. It's a great movie. So I'll just say my number one is now the final chapter. It is actually past part 6.
Oh yeah. Yep. If I
I
realized that you hadn't picked that, I would have known that. Well, I would have known that those were your last two, and I would have known there's a possibility that 6 isn't.
right, we've talked about it a lot, so I will give it to you three to talk about part 1 now. I just wanted to get mine out there. It is final chapter, but it's by the narrowest of margins. If you ask me next week, Jason Lives might be my favorite.
Right. The same with me with 5 and 1 then. All right, but
Gentlemen, have at it.
So for
Enjoy
part
your
1, I think it's easily the best movie, easily the best made film. It's like most of these movies are just like people getting killed and it's fun to eat popcorn and fun to watch, but let's face it, it's my favorite franchise, but they're not great movies. They're just not. But one is a almost perfect movie. The whole atmosphere about it, the Crystal Lake, actually going and seeing the lake, the pilgrimage to the Holy Land, as I like to call it, and it's all about part 1 for me, easily. Brian, do you want to add something?
I mean, if it wasn't for Halloween, we wouldn't have Friday the 13th, and if it wasn't for Friday the 13th, we wouldn't have Jason.
Yeah.
For that 5-second we see of him birth a franchise. You know,
absolutely.
and it's a Jersey. He's a Jersey boy, so forever number one in my heart.
Right on. Mike, did you want to add anything about part 1?
Well, you look at it like this. Part 1 was the only one that was entire filmed in New Jersey. And like Brian said, he's a Jersey boy. And
Mike is also from New Jersey, in case you couldn't tell.
What part of Jersey are you from?
Bergen County.
Okay.
Right on.
Actually, if you think about it, it's actually the first horror movie that's almost like a whodunit. Like, you had to guess through the whole movie, like, who's going through this, who's doing what.
Right. If you watched it when it came out.
And you, like, even as a kid, like, I got onto Friday the 13th, like, what, I'm 45, so we're talking about maybe, like, 30-something years ago, like, when I was in grade school, I started getting into the Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, and
all of them.
Then all of a sudden, Cannibal Holocaust and all these other movies. Now, Cannibal Holocaust came way later when I was in high school. But anyway, it was like a first, like, whodunit horror movie. Now, some people might turn around and say, well, Black Christmas from 1974 was a whodunit, but you knew who did it. It was the guy, it was a jagoff sitting up in the fucking attic.
You didn't think of a boyfriend at first?
Nice pull, though. That's a classic, man. A lot of
Black Christmas is a great movie, but it was like a real like whodunit as a horror movie. Yet you're seeing kills, throat slash, arrows coming through the neck, and it just made you go, "Oh my god, who's coming next?"
The music, the lake.
Oh my god!
I hate to be a bear. But I have the aggregate ranking ready, so allow me a minute, will you, fellas?
Yes, let's do that.
Number 12 with 8 points is Friday the 13th, Part 8. Blech. Number 11 with 15 points was Jason Goes to Hell. Tied for 10th place with 16 points is both Jason X and Freddy vs. Jason. Just above that was the remake with 21 points at number 8. At number 7 was Part 3 with 24 points. At number 6 was Part 7 with 26 points. It was Part 3 with 24 points. 6th place was Part 7 with 26. 5th place was Part 5 with 28. 4th place was Part 6 with 32. Tied for 2nd place was Part 2 and Part 4 with 41 points. And, of course, Part 1 with 45 points takes the cake. And I still have a few seconds here. So the fact that you ranked Jason Goes to Hell above Jason Lives is fucking crazy, and we're going to talk about this another time, but we're out of time right now. But we will bring this back up at another date. And until that date comes, there goes the neighborhood.
Right on. All right, so we're going to wrap this up because I'm going to go see Beetlejuice 2. Brian has another podcasting to get to. Thanks, Mike, for coming on. It was a blast. Very good time ranking these movies with you. Ryan, if you can still hear me, which I don't know if you can, but he's going to get that list posted on Facebook because my phone's fucked up and I can't type certain things on my phone. Numbers being one of them because they got this weird thing where like this part of the screen is just not working. So, and I don't have $500 for a new phone. So here we are. But again, thanks for coming. Go see Brian September 13th. Next week, Friday.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ,
week.
It's kind of right around the corner.
I know.
Fear's on the menu too.
Yes.
I have went to one of Brian's events at Blairstown Diner. It was one of the greatest things of my life. It was a religious experience. Meeting Brian was awesome. This time, it doesn't cost you anything to go there.
Nope.
When I went, it cost money, and that's another topic for another day. But this
the
time
only
it's
thing
free.
that's going to cost you is getting an autograph, buying
if you
hot
want
sauce.
autograph, buy a book from my buddy R.G. Henning.
Yes.
Donate some money to Bobby Heckman, who was in the comments all night. His campaign to do Victim No More 2. That's another great fan film if you haven't seen it. Victim No More.
And not
free.
only is Bobby going to be with him, but James Taffarelli, who played Jason, will be there. And I am wearing the sack from the movie. So
there you go.
And also, I'm doing
photos with Brian.
I'm doing a fundraiser for Kizzy's Place. It's a nonprofit cat rescue down in South Jersey, and we'll be having a donation box all weekend. If you can't make it down there, just go to Kizzy's Place with a Z, Kizzzy. You can go to their Facebook or Instagram, and you can find their donate button on there.
Awesome. Good stuff. And it's going to be a good time. Ari Lehman, who was on the show last week, he's going to be rocking out. If you haven't seen his band, I'm telling you, they're worth seeing. They're a lot of fun. He's actually opening for Ice Nine Kills the next day too, which is really cool.
Nice.
Very excited for Ari. He's a great guy, and his band, they're great dudes too. So hang out with them. Check out the movie. Get you a Blairstown Diner has an awesome fucking hamburger, one of the best there is. And there's other good
Blairstown
food.
Diner is actually a really great diner and everything like that. I recommend that diner.
Yeah, you got the pork roll for you guys that aren't from Jersey. Want to go get that? That's good stuff.
No. Pork roll is South Jersey. Up here we call it bacon.
Taylor ham? I heard Taylor ham.
Taylor ham too. We call it that too.
But yeah, I'm gonna get you guys out of here. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. And
right on.
Oh shit. There goes the neighborhood.